Petra, just wondering, has life gotten back to normal for you now?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do feel a little bit more normal than before, especially on the court and around those players and people around the tennis, which I'm really grateful that I can be part of it again. The life is still a little bit strange, but it's getting better as well. So hopefully one day will be better.
Court.
Petra, how good was that match today in terms of just, I mean, was that the best match you played, do you think, since Birmingham, possibly?
I think that I played better than in Birmingham today and the round before. So I'm really pleased with the game I showed today. I mean, the serve was pretty working today. Especially the shade on the center court is a little bit tricky, so you really have to work with that as well to be on the sun or be on the shade. So, but I think that I moved pretty well as well. I knew that it will be tough match. I remember her from the last time we played the Fed Cup, and she just was really on fire. But that's what I tried today, to be more fired up than her.
Is it surprising to you at all that you have been as successful as you had in this tournament after all that's happened to you in the last few months?
Tough to say if I'm surprised. I came here not with the great results on the hard court, but on the other hand, I feel that I'm playing good on the tennis matches or in the practices or whatever. It wasn't just everything together, so I'm glad that everything so far clicked together and showing the good game which I'm playing now. But on the other hand, I'm more pleased with that I know it's still there than just to be surprised of the performance.
Just mentally, too, after what you've been through, is it easy to get back on the court, or what's it like?
It's much more easier to come back play. Definitely compared to first tournaments after my comeback, it's much more easier for me to feel more normal than before.
You've got another first coming up. Since you've came back, you haven't faced a top 10, or you might face a top 10 player in your next match against Gavinia. What would that pose as a challenge for you? Would you go into that match differently, or would it just be...
I would be happy if I see top 10 player finally. It means that I'm kind of deep in the tournament finally. I don't really care. I mean, I'll just play my best what I can. I know her pretty well. We played a few times already, last time in Beijing. She has a great game. She has a good confidence right now as well. So I think that she's really going for the shots and playing her best for sure. It's nice to play someone who won the Grand Slam this year, and I'm really looking forward for the big stage and for that match.
Petra, how do you explain or describe how you've improved at this tournament over time? It used to be kind of, the tournament that we thought, oh, this might be a little bit tough for Petra with the humidity and everything, but it's been more consistent for you as you've gotten, older.
Yeah, I don't know why this is happening. On the other hand, I'm glad for that, for sure. After those 2 Grand Slams this year, of course, I shouldn't count it as a big tennis matches or whatever, but I think that finally I found out my plan or how to deal with these conditions, and with the US Open, it's pretty far from the hotel, so I'm not really practicing in a day off again. So I think that I've been lucky with these conditions, with the weather this year so far. Playing the first matches or last with the corner wasn't pretty humid and hot, so I do really feel that all the things just are lucky for me right now.
Yeah, Petra, it was almost cold this morning. How
it
aware
was
are you?
Cold.
How aware are you of the conditions? Like, was it in practice this morning or coming onto the warm up?
Well, I knew it yesterday already. That should be colder than before. So, when you're sitting in the car, you can't really recognize it. But then it was pretty windy. It was pretty cold. We had the warm up on the ash, so it was nice to have a roof on. And it was a little bit cold, but then the sun came and it wasn't that bad. So But during the match, like on the sun was pretty warm, and in the shade was pretty cold when you was sweaty. So it was kind of funny, but I didn't really care. I mean, it's better than to have like 30 degrees or something. So I don't care.
I have a non-tennis question. Are you a fan of using the salons that they have at the Grand Slams for the players?
I'm a fan of the salons, but not really on site. I don't want to spend like more time than I had to and on site, so I'm preferring like in the city.
Why would a player choose to use the amenity on site rather than going into Manhattan? Do you think? Do you know of players who get their nails done on site here or anything like that?
Yeah, I know. I did it as well like a few years ago. And it's just nice to have this option. I mean, sometimes you are waiting for the practice, for example, in the afternoon, or you're playing doubles later or whatever. So it's just, nice to have a nails done before your match.
How close do you think you are to your game being where you think it can be?
Well, I think that kind of those two matches, maybe in the first round as well, I do feel much more better and closer to my top level. I think that I really played great today as well, and it's still, I think, I'm still not there for sure. I think still my hand is not 100% ready, so I do feel hopefully that I do have like space to improve. But on the other hand, I will be very lucky if I'm playing as today every day.
Okay, we'll take 3 more in English. Howard. You just said your hand is still not 100%. In what ways during a match does it limit you? Or what can you not do the way you would like to on the court?
Well, I'm still working on the strength. I think which is still missing. I'm not really, thinking about it when I'm playing match. I'm just taking how it is, and that's what I'm working on it. Finally, I think that I can hold a little bit better than before. From the beginning, it was really difficult to play some big aggressive shots. But luckily, I find a way to hit it so far here in the tournament. So it's easier, and the movement is still not great as well. But for the grip of the tennis racket, so far it's okay. So I'm glad that it's still pretty wide.
Petra, New York City is a very popular setting for movies. It's in songs a lot. I'm curious, growing up, you remember seeing New York in a movie or hearing about it in a song and maybe thinking, I'd like to visit this big city someday?
I do remember the movie Home Alone, something like that. It's from the New York. But I've been in New York for the musical. In the Broadway was a Hair, I think. Yeah, but otherwise I don't really remember anything. Probably it wasn't my favorite city from young age.
Last question, Anish.
Petra, I'm just curious, at Wimbledon and at the French Open, were you practicing during off days?
No, yes.
You were, but here you're not.
I'm not.
Okay. Just because it's so far?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Coaches just came to me and said, you have a day off tomorrow. I said, okay. So, I don't know. I don't know why. You have to ask them.
Thank you, everyone. Gentlemen.
Thank you.